at the end of the day, most superheroes are aliens or from another planet. So, it's good to kind of humanize them and see them in the light of, they can be Asian, they can be Black, they can be Hispanic, this, that, and the third. So it's really dope.
Alice Ishmel, congratulations on this show. This is the energy of exactly what I want from a Superman series. And the great thing is it doesn't just highlight Superman. Lois and Jimmy are just as prominent as characters as Superman. For both of you, how did you want to make your Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen stand out from other live action and animated versions of the character? And we'll start with you, Alice.
Whatever it was, I wanted to bring my own flavor, whatever my version was. The show itself is such a different tone than what I've seen before with Superman. And so that in itself kind of informed the way I was going to do Lois Lane. But really trusting the process, trusting the creators, and trusting that whatever I was doing was what they wanted for the show. And yeah, I think just bringing Alice into Lois Lane and doing her justice.
Same thing. I kind of want to just bring my essence to the character, bring a youthful spirit, make Jimmy cool, I feel like I hit the nail on the head with that one. Coolest one out of the crew. No, I'm just yeah, I just wanted to bring like a fun, lively spirit to Jimmy, and hopefully the audience will, it will resonate with them. So.
Oh yeah, this show is so good. Alice, I love how badass Lois is in this. Why do you think it's so important to highlight that, especially with Superman consistently saving the day?
Of course, as a woman, it's, one of the classic that she can hold her own and that she's a strong, passionate individual without even Clark or Superman. Before they even meet, she was already like this. And I think they enhance each other. They make each other better and grow. And that's also with Jimmy as well. They're a team, like truly. And I think it's just nice to have a strong female lead. So
absolutely. Now, Ishmel, we get to explore the early days of Lois, Clark, and Jimmy. Can you talk about Clark and Jimmy's relationship in My Adventure with Superman?
Without going into big detail and giving spoilers, they are very best of friends. They have each other's back. Jimmy is one of those guys where, he gets to be a hero in his own right. Right. He's not just the friend of Superman and Clark. Like he gets into his adventures as well too. And, we definitely see a relationship between two people in their 20s going through real life stuff, not just, fighting superheroes, like relationships and work, and even just like their testament to their friendship. They kind of go through their little tips and ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it all comes full circle, and they have each other's back at the end of the day. So you get to see all sides of the relationship between, friends. So,
you know what? That's the one thing I absolutely love about this show is that Superman has to deal with real personal issues, which I feel really humanizes the character. Now, I think for me personally, the key to a good Superman is a great Clark Kent. And I think Jack Quaid is an amazing Clark Kent. Alice, what did he bring to the role of Clark and Superman that wasn't necessarily on the page?
Obviously, Jack brought himself, his essence as well. And I think that includes being a good human, and he's so kind, humility, the youthfulness, the innocence almost, and the humor. I think he's so funny in the show as well. I just feel like you just hear Clark Kent and Jack just sounds like Clark Kent and Superman. So natural. So I think he fucking nailed it.
He absolutely did a phenomenal job. Now, I think this show is what I feel like Superman was missing throughout media for the last few years. Ishmel, what do you think is a secret to telling a good, fun, compelling Superman story? Because this nails the tone of everything I wanted.
It's interesting. I think you have to find a balance between just the source material and then also bringing your rendition or idea of how you want the people to see it, so to speak. I think that we kind of hit all those nails on the head, so to speak. But I think with us, we really try to, or at least the writers and producers, they really try to focus on the humanity and the realness between these characters as friends, and just like you said, going through the trials and tribulations of, being in their early 20s and their friendship being tested and things like that. So I think once you have a good story and you have a beginning, middle, and end, and then, you sprinkle it with, the lore of Superman, I think all that kind of made like a really good gumbo for this show. And I think people are going to be very surprisingly pleased with how it turned out. So
I couldn't agree more. From animation style to the writing to the voice acting, it all hits. I think this is like the perfect Superman show for the time that we need this show. Now, what did you find most compelling or surprising about each of your characters' story arcs as you explore the early years?
I think it's really cool that Jimmy comes into his own. Right. He's not just the sidekick. Like he's really being tested in the sense of like, what's his purpose, as a friend or, just as a person in general, and I think the one thing that was really dope about this character was that he's very much into conspiracy theories.
Yes.
I am a little bit as well, too.
Me too.
Yeah. So it was very fun to kind of like play around with that and, kind of like, because even people who are into conspiracy theories, like, from the outside looking in, like you kind of look at those people as crazy, but, those people, like they really believe in this. So it's more like bringing in that truth of just like, okay, aliens do exist. Bigfoot does exist. Okay. And just really having like a compelling passion for that. I think it was really dope. Bringing that to life from Jimmy.
I think for me, yeah, also just getting to know Lois as an individual, and the depth she has as Lois, and her whole story, and also seeing her be silly and make mistakes and say some goofy stuff and be vulnerable, and I think that was very cool and new for me with Lois kind of seeing that version of her getting to know herself and coming into her own.
The last question I have for you guys is, can you talk about the importance of representation in superhero stories?
Yeah, I think it's very important, especially with this. Obviously, in the past, Jimmy was a white character with red hair, I believe.
Yep.
And things have changed in 20. No, he is Black on the show.
And he's also the coolest guy. He's the coolest guy on the show.
This guy, he has a great hair waft, a lot of gel. But, aside, it's very important to see representation. Listen, it doesn't matter like what race you are. I think we all see ourselves in a superhero, and we all like to see that is possible, so to speak. So, it's just good inspiration. And, like you don't have to like. At the end of the day, most superheroes are aliens or from another planet. So, it's good to kind of humanize them and see them in the light of they can be Asian, they can be Black, they can be Hispanic, this, that, and the third. So it's really dope.
Well, look, you guys do such a tremendous job on this show. I cannot wait to watch this with my little girl once it debuts in July. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. This is like the perfect Superman show. Like I said, this is what has been missing from Superman. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I love this show. It's beautiful.
You're so sweet.